Hello there, and welcome to this quick walkthrough and review of Linux Mint. Mint, like many Linux distributions, is based upon Ubuntu, but is designed to give a more familiar interface to those that are used to using Microsoft Windows. So at the moment, what we've got running here is the live version of Mint, which is what would happen if you just put the CD in your drive and boot it off of it. So we haven't modified any of the contents of our hard drive, but it gives you an opportunity to look through the operating system and check everything's working properly before you go ahead and install it. So let's assume that we've already checked that and we're ready to install. You can see there's a install link on the desktop here, so if we just double click that, wait a couple of seconds, it will bring up a window for installing Linux Mint. So we just go through the necessary steps, we choose the appropriate language, and then the correct time zone. And then the correct keyboard layout. And now it's going to ask us about the using our hard disk on our computer. Now, for most people, if they're ready to switch to Linux Mint, they'll want to use the entire hard disk, but you don't necessarily have to. You can install it side by side with your current operating system. What it will do is it will scale back your current operating system and install it next to the new one. But we'll go ahead and erase everything. To see that, I'll use the whole hard disk for Linux Mint. And then we just have to specify our username and a password and what we want our computer to be, and whether we want it to log on automatically or require our password to log on. And those that have used Linux before will notice this is very similar to the Ubuntu installation. And it's essentially the same process. And now we're ready to install, so we'll click install and it'll go ahead and start installing. And what I'll do now is I'll speed the video up just to demonstrate to you the installation process, because it does take sort of 10-15 minutes to install. So I'll speed the video up, and then when it's finished installing, I'll come back. Okay, so the installation's finished now, and brings up a message to tell us so. And it tells us we can either continue testing Linux Mint in the live environment, or we can restart our computer and boot into our new Linux operating system. So let's just do that, just to show you the process. So here we have our Linux Mint installation. We get this nice splash screen the first time we boot it up, so it gives us some information on user guides and known problems and things like that. Let's just deselect that so it doesn't come up next time. And I'll just give you a quick rundown of the layout. As you can see, you've got two icons here similar to what you'd have on a Windows PC. One is basically a door into your computer's hard disk, and another is basically a My Documents sort of scenario. Just to show at the bottom here, you have a taskbar similar to what you'd have with Windows. Over towards the right here, you have a list of recommended updates. You have your network connectivity, your sound devices, and then the date and time. On the left-hand side here, you have the Mint menu, which is very similar to the Windows Start menu. On the left here, you have your places, your computer, your home folder, your network, your desktop, and your rubbish bin or your recycle bin if you're a Windows user. And then you also have down here your software and package managers for installing additional software from the internet for free, your control center, which is very similar to Control Panel, your terminal, which is a command line interface like a DOS interface on Windows, and then lock screen, log out, and quit, which is your shutdown, restart, and suspend feature. On the right hand side of your menu, you have at the moment it's listing your favorite applications, just to show you if you click here, it will then show you all of your applications broken down by groups. Just go back to favorites because I just want to show you quickly some of the important ones that you use day to day. Your web browser on Linux Mint is Firefox, which a lot of people use also on Windows or on Mac. Just to show you it working here, we can go quickly to a website. It looks slightly dated. If you were to use a more powerful PC, you would have access to the additional graphics features, so you could turn those on and then it would look a bit neater. You also have a mail client by the same people that provide Firefox, and that's a sort of Outlook sort of replacement. You have Pigeon, which is an internet messaging tool. If you're used to using MSN or Google Talk or anything like that, this can replace it. And then a lot of people will also use RhythmBox, which is the music player of choice really for most Linux users. And it's very, very similar in terms of look and feel to iTunes when it loads up. There you go. So you can see you can use this to play any music that's locally stored. You can purchase music using any of these online stores, and you can listen to online radio and things like that. So I believe also if you have an older generation iPod, you can sync it with this. Not necessarily anything like the iPod Touch or anything like that, but the older generation ones will work with this no problem. So I'll just close that. Just to show you quickly, the software manager feature is a nice touch. You get this with a lot of Linux distributions. Basically, it's an online store for free software that you can download for your Linux installation. So I'll just show you quickly. These are featured applications that the people at Linux Mint think we should install. A lot of them are already installed. You see if they've got a small tick next to them, it means they've already been installed in our system by default. But you can add any of these additional ones. Just select one and click install. Put in your password. You can see at the bottom here it's installing it as I talk. Shouldn't take more than a few seconds just to download it and install it. And Audacity, just to say, is a program that I use quite often actually, and it's used for editing sound files. So if I'm recording a voiceover for something like this, I can then edit that independently and upload it into the video and things like that. It's a great little tool. It's free. It's only a small file, around 2 meg. It's available for Windows as well. Just wait for that to finish installing. You can see Audacity has appeared in our menu there. So any files, any programs that you install will automatically go into your start menu. It's available from www.linuxmint.com, and I definitely recommend you try it out. Thanks for watching, guys.